What are you telling yourself is too hard? What are you like giving yourself headaches about? What are you avoiding? Think about it for a minute, really. What is it that you're just, you know you have to do, but you are not looking forward to it? And every time you put it on your calendar to do it, or you say, this is the day I'm gonna do it, you find any and every excuse not to do it. That is me with paperwork. And most specifically, medical paperwork. I don't know what it is, but I've got some kind of mental block that stops me every time I'm about to do medical paperwork. And we've all got something, right? And I've had this medical paperwork to do for Timothy for, well, dare I say a year? Let me think, what is the date? I started working on this maybe a year ago. And ironically enough, it's supposed to be updated and turned in every year. So this medical coverage, it's supplemental. Don't worry, he's getting the medical stuff he needs. But I let it lapse. So there's certain things that are not covered under our normal health care that we need the supplemental health care to help with. And so I had my assistant fill it out for me because I just couldn't, because that's the self-talk in my head. It's too hard, I won't get it, I don't like it, whatever it is, that I stop myself. So why didn't it get turned in if somebody else filled it out for you? Well, there was a couple blanks that she couldn't fill in that I needed to fill in a year ago. And I'm gonna get my office organized, and I realize I'm gonna have to take care of and sort these things that need to be done, that need to be taken care of, decisions need to be made. I gotta choose doctors and blah, blah, blah. So that's my kryptonite. That's what takes me down, is like medical stuff I'm not sure of. It's probably one of the many reasons I've been procrastinating on writing Timothy's memoir about the NICU, is I have a box of over 600 pages of his medical records from that time. So what is it for you? What is it that stops you? You can tell the things that stop you by the minute you start thinking about them, you're like, ugh. So Rob walks in the house today, and I was like, ugh. He's like, you're tired again? You've been really tired lately. I said, I'm not tired. I'm just overwhelmed because there's this stuff I don't want to do. So how can you get out of doing it? Sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's stuff you have to do in your life, whatever it is for you, that you just have to do. And you can't stick your head in the sand forever. You can, but then you're going to suffocate. You won't be able to breathe. It's the same with decision making, right? When you're going to make a decision, I've talked about this in another video, you can't sit on the fence. You have to jump onto one side or the other. Sometimes you just have to make a decision. Well, this is the same thing. Sticking my head in the sand and ignoring it isn't going to make it any better. So Timothy's physical therapist wants to look into getting Timothy a wheelchair that he can operate on his own, like a manually with the hand cranks, so he can, because when we go long distances, or if we go anywhere like to a theme park, Disneyland, Six Flags, if we go anywhere, we're usually pushing him in the stroller because he can't walk that far. I mean, actually we push him in the stroller when we go for walks around the neighborhood. So that's just an example that getting him this hand cranking wheelchair rather than us pushing him in a stroller is something he needs eventually. So to give him the independence, be able to work his upper body. But I've been not wanting to confront this giant thing of paperwork. So I know it's like, this is like nothing to somebody else, but everyone's got their one thing. So figure out what your one thing is. You know, getting my son to have some independence when we go to some, I mean, honestly, he might only need it once or twice a year. So it's like I come up with all these excuses, and you guys do the same thing. What is that thing that you're avoiding where you're making excuses and you're going, well, it's not that bad. Well, I can handle it. Well, I mean, I only have to really deal with it once or twice a year, so it's not that big a deal, or whatever. The problem with it is, here's the problem. It takes up mental space in your mind. It takes up residency. I put this in a pile on my desk. I put it in a pile on my floor. I put it in piles somewhere, and then I try to ignore it. But my brain knows it's there, and I'll be in the midst of trying to do something else, and the thought constantly pops into my head, at least a couple times a week. Oh, I gotta get that paperwork done for Timothy's medical stuff. And a year goes by and I haven't done it. So sometimes just biting the bullet, doing that thing that you hate and stopping your avoidance behavior. It's like you can find everything there. Oh, suddenly instead of doing that thing you hate, it seems like a really good idea to organize your silverware drawer, which you never organized before. I'm laughing because my husband just came out of the garage with a gas mask on and looked at me, and then he turned around and walked back in. He must be painting something. So you can't avoid it anymore. Sticking your head in the sand is going to suffocate you. Sometimes you just have to do the unpleasant things, and it's going to be like a huge relief lifted off you. And stopping the avoidance behavior, the moment you catch yourself doing something to avoid that thing, you can get so much more work done. I noticed if I just take care of that thing, then I'm free. I'm free to do all this other stuff. So earlier today, I had a couple tasks I needed to do before I delved into this paperwork. And it was like, I noticed I was taking my time. I was doing the tasks extra slow. I was drawing it out so I wouldn't have to get to this part of my day. So I thought I'd share that with you guys, because just taking care of it and just doing it, I'm about to take my own advice right now and stop making a video as part of my avoidance behavior and do the same. Hop off YouTube. Why are you on YouTube right now when you know you have that thing to take care of that you've been avoiding? Go take care of it. Go take care of that thing, and then I want you to come back here and type in the chat, I did it. Make a comment and let me know you did it and how you feel after finally taking care of it. Thanks.